Today in this session, we will learn about the fallback slots. So what is the fallback slots means? I will try to show you. For example, let's say that this is our profile card, right? So this profile card, we are having named slots. So one is the header, one is the default slot, and another one is a footer slot. So if you go to the app.view, in this app.view, here we are having a profile card. In this one, we are having this slot name with header, and this is the template slot name with footer, and this is our default content. Okay, so with no any name, if we didn't provide any name for this slot, means it is a default slot. So if you want to provide, you can also provide it, not a problem. So now, for example, let's say that we haven't provided any header for this one. So I have removed the header for this one. Let's try to run it. Let's see the output first. Let's see the output. So this is our profile card, right? So for example, let's say that I haven't provided any header for this one. So there is no header slot. So I have removed this header slot. Let's see that how it will work. So if I remove this header slot, so what will happen? So here the header has been removed. Okay, the header has been removed. But what I want to do is, so I want to get a scenario in such a way that if any component is the profile card component in anywhere we are using, so if they don't provide any header temp slot, so we need to show some default header. So for that one, what we can do is in the profile card, in this slot, you can write the div, so default header. So this is called as a fallback slot. So fallback content for this slot. So if any component, so who are using this component profile card, if they don't provide any slot header, this one, automatically this content will be loaded. For example, if you try to see the output here, see default header has came. Why? Because the header has not been provided for this. For example, if you provide a header, so I am providing a header. This is the header. If I provide a header, instead of loading this default header, so we will get an output. If you see here, see now the content which was provided by the component, we are able to load it. So this is called as an fallback content. Not only for the header, you can also provide it for the content also. Default content, and also here you can use default footer. So these are all the default ones. So if we don't provide anything in the app.view, if you don't provide any templates in this one profile card, so I didn't provide any slots. So then what it will load is the content. What it will try to load is the default header, default content, and the default footer. So this is the content it will try to load it. So if you see the output here, so this is the content in this slot. This is the content it is trying to load it. So this is called as an fallback content. Now, for example, let's say that in the header and footer, I am adding something like padding 10 pixel. Okay, I'm adding some padding 10 pixel. So we will be having some gap here. Default header will be having some gap. For example, let's say that we haven't provided any default one for this one. So we don't have any default one. So we need to have a situation in such a way that if the header is not provided, if the header slot is not provided, then we should not show this footer thing. Now if you see here, so we are able to see this padding 10 pixel. Why? Because here div class is equal to footer is there, right? So we are able to see that one. So here div class is equal to footer. So this one we are able to see, but in this one there is no content. But this is having padding 10 pixel. That means this element is able to see, we are able to see this element. Now if you try to see here, so this one, but this profile card, in this profile card, they haven't provided any footer. For example, if you provide any footer, we will be able to get the footer. So here I will try to provide a footer. Template hash footer, and here I will give footer content. So if any footer template is provided, means then we can show this one. So okay, so we can show the footer content, we are able to show. But for example, if they haven't provided any footer and there is no default template for this one also, so default slot is also not there for this one also, so then showing this div class is equal to footer is is taking some style. So here we are able to see some gap. So we should not show this gap also. So if the footer is not there, means we should completely remove this all footer from here to here. We should completely remove this one. If you have a default content, means okay, fine. So if you don't have a default content and slot is there and the slot is also not provided by the component registration, means then we need to completely remove this footer thing. How we can remove is, so now as you are able to use this slots concept in the template, we can also use the slots concept in the script also. If I try to open the script, I will show you here. Yeah, I'm having export default. So in this export default, so let's go to the mounted. So when this component is loaded, I will do console.log this dot dollar slots. So using this variable this dot dollar slots, we can able to get what are the slots that are available in this one. If I try to show you the output in the console, let's refresh this page. So here we are able to see this one, right? In the target, we don't have any elements. Why? Because we haven't provided anything. So default slots are there actually. In the app.view, if I provide anything, something like footer, if I try to provide it, so now we will be having that slot thing. So if I refresh this page again, so here in this proxy, in this target, we are able to see this footer. So that means footer is available. So using this option, we can able to hide this one. So how we can hide it is, so here I can show in such a way that the condition is v-if is equal to, I can write $slots.footer. If footer is provided, then only show this one. If footer is not provided, don't show this one. So now if I try to see the output here, so now entirely this one is removed. If I try to add the footer here in the app.view, so footer content. So if I am trying to add a slot here, footer content, and now this if will become true, this slot will be, we will be able to see it. See, we are able to see this slot. So this is the usage of this one. So through the coding also, we can able to access the slots using this dot dollar slots, and using the condition $slots.footer, we can able to access it. So like this, we can use it. So this is how we can use this slot option. So now if you try to see in the Vue.js, get started. If you go to the slots option, so I think somewhere you will be able to see this option also. Render scope, this all things, fallback content. So this is the fallback content which we are trying to learn right now. Slot in between this slot, if you write anything, so the fallback content we will get it. And named slots also we have learned it. So the named slots only, fallback content we have used it. Somewhere this dot dollar slots we are able to see it. I don't think so they have mentioned it. Dynamic slots names, these are all dynamic slot name if you want to use. Scoped slots you'll see next. Named scoped slots. Okay, scoped slots. See list example. I don't think they are given. Dollar slots. They have mentioned, they have not mentioned it here, but we can access it through the script code. So $slots.footer. So this dollar slots we are able to access it. So this is all about the fallback content, how to use the fallback content in the slots. So the last option available, the last concept available in the slots is the scoped slots. We will see about this scoped slots now.